Hey y'all, good morning. Today we're going to be painting a little Christmas tree. I know it's several weeks still till Christmas, but it's never too early to start getting ready, is it? So, I am starting out with 2 shades of blue-green and some white. This is called Spa Blue, and this is called Desert Turquoise, and I've painted with it before on here when I did my Harvest Blue Pumpkin. But to do the center, I'm just doing a corner of the brush in white and a corner in the Spa Blue, and just making a very pale center. And our tree is going to be kind of in the middle there, and it looks like I've got all kind of little eraser crumblies on my canvas. I remember I was erasing something the other night, but now I can't remember what it was. But anyway, just getting some good coverage, kind of just in a little swooping motion. We're not making the, we don't really want it to go in the same direction, just kind of getting right out to the edges, and then once we get on the edges, we're going to do something just a little bit different. But I really like this particular painting. You'll notice that we're not starting with a tracer this time, like usual, but that's because it is just super easy to do without one. I feel like it would be harder with a tracer than it is to just put this one down on there. So there's going to be little variations where the white shows in some spots more and the blue more in spots. But that's okay. That's really what we're wanting with this. So just run that out to within maybe, just a couple of inches from the outside. And then there was a little gumpy thing in there. Then we're going to start working in with the, take, just like you were, I'm not even dipping my brush, but just dip a corner of the brush in the Desert Turquoise and a corner in the Spa Blue, and just kind of do the same thing on your edges. We're just kind of blending those, not perfectly, leaving those brush strokes, but just doing the same thing with the Desert Turquoise and the Spa Blue that we did. We're just kind of making it go from light to dark the farther out we go, pretty much. So just grabbing that and working it in. I hope I'm still in the frame. Y'all know I stink at that, but I'm trying. Just blending and shading that out. And I see I forgot something. I forgot to put my black down on my plate, but we'll get there in a minute. Just get that all, just, till it looks good to you. That's what I always say. It doesn't have to be any really certain way, just till you like how it looks on the canvas. I know I'm going real quick with this, but it's, like I said, it's a very fun and easy painting, and I think I maybe need just a little bit more white in through here, but just till it looks good to you. As long as you can tell that it is a little lighter in the center, that's the main thing we're going for here. It just needs to be to where you can tell a difference as you go from the middle to the outside parts, because we do want a little bit of progression in the colors, moving from light to dark, just to really give this some depth, because I should have showed you a picture of it before I started. Well, actually, I can do that now. Well, I could if I could find it. Hang on. Yeah, sorry about that. I can't find I don't know what I've done with my picture, but anyway, we'll get there. So what I'm going to do now, I don't know if you can tell, but we've got it to where it is lighter to darker, lighter in the center and darker to the outside. So now I'm going to put down just a little bit of black. And we're going to do, it doesn't take much black though. Black really gets in there. But I'm going to take a little bit of black and dip a corner of my big brush. I'm still not even rinsing. And taking some of that desert turquoise. Just a spot on each edge. And then we're just going to start maybe 2 or 3 inches in. And just do that same kind of method that we've been doing. And blending that. Oops, I dipped in the spa blue. But it doesn't matter. We're gonna get it. See, look at there. I think I've got too much black. Because it just really overpowers. So just go sparingly with the black. We're going to make it work. But just bear in mind that it really does not take a whole lot of the black to go a long, long way. So I'm kind of I'm tapping off a lot of the black onto the plate before I start on a lot of this, because we don't want to get this too dark. But now we do want it a little dark, because this is like supposed to be the night sky and the background up around here. Don't worry about the edges yet. We'll do something with them in a minute. But just coming in with this little bit, well, actually it's a lot darker, especially compared to that middle. But just kind of, I'm actually probably gonna have to lighten up some up through here, but just getting this blended in, and you can kind of see the progression a little bit better now. And you just keep on doing that little back and forth until it looks good to you. That's, you know, I can show you how to paint what I've painted, but what's really fun is when you make it your own. That's where I think the magic happens. Just make it your own, and you don't have to be like I'm not even a real experienced artist. I'm just getting started. And I like to say that it's fun art, not fine art. And as long as we're having fun and making something that we are going to love in the end, it doesn't matter if we do it a little bit different. That's the good part about it. Just doing it the way we want to and making it look cute. So I think I've about got this like I want it. I might do just a little bit more of the white and blue around this edge right quick, but I'm still not gonna rinse my brush. That's what I like about this painting. You can do it with just a very few colors, and it's just to me just flows real well. Just that progression from the light to the dark, I really do like that. That's part of what gives it just what to me just seems like a magical feel. So just a little bit of that desert turquoise and a little bit of the white, just to kind of even things up a little. And you wouldn't even have to do this. I'm just doing what I just told you. just doing it till it feels good to you or it looks good to you. So, and I'm also trying to go pretty quick with this. You don't have to do that. You can take your time, and I'm just, for the sake of your time, trying to move pretty quickly with this. So, once you get that all blended out, you don't have to do this next step that I'm going to do, just in the interest of time. But I am going to go around the edges. Sometimes I don't paint the edges of my canvas, but I'm going to today with some black, because we may do some little fun doolollies on there later. But I'm not going to take a whole lot of time with this. Like I said, sometimes I don't even do the edges of my canvas, and that is perfectly okay. They're not all that noticeable anyway, but this is a fun and quick painting, so, you know, I think you got plenty of time if you want to do these edges, and we'll do some cute little designs on there at the very end. Hopefully I can remember. Y'all know me. Sometimes I totally forget what I was planning to do, and I don't know. I can't get it without getting paint on me. Oh, okay. Okay, hopefully I'm still in the frame. We're gonna just go around this edge here. And the next thing we're gonna do, if I get back to it and decide that we don't need to do any more blending, we're gonna jump right in to going ahead and painting our tree, because that is the real fun part. And this doesn't have to be, you know, you don't want it in just a perfectly straight line necessarily. Just make it just real edgy, and if some of it comes up to the top of the canvas, that's just that much better. It is okay. So don't stress about getting it where you don't want it, because if you don't like it, you can always blend it back out. But to me, most of the time for something like this, if it does have some little rough edges, that's just giving it that much more dimension and texture and depth, and I like that rugged edge there. I do see some spots though where I really didn't get all my canvas covered, so I do want to kind of make sure that is done. Okay, last little edge here, and we will be done with this part and on to the tree. And like I said, to me, that is the most fun part, is painting that tree. Uh-oh, I think I did forget something I was supposed to bring up here. We'll see, though. I was going to show you how to do a little splatter with a toothbrush, but I don't know if it's up here or not, but either way, we're going to make it cute. So just get that along that edge and we'll be all ready. So once you do that, turn it whichever way you want to be the top part where the night sky is. And I do think I need just a little more blending. You would not necessarily have to do this, but I'm just gonna get most of the paint off my brush and blend out this edge just a tad bit more. Not absolutely necessary, but look at there. You can tell I've still got a lot of that black. That is not really what I wanted. So I am going to rinse my brush. I had not planned to do that at this point, but I am, because that black is powerful. It is really showing there. So I'm just going to give it a decent rinse and just dry it with a paper towel. Just enough so that it's not dripping water. It doesn't have to be perfectly dry. But I'm going to dip back into that desert turquoise and just hit it a lick around this edge some more. Just to, I guess, because I had some, I don't mind brush strokes, but I think these were just a little bit more pronounced than what I was wanting. So just going over that a little bit. Just try, not to make it too uniform or anything like that. But just, and you can even dip just a little bit in the water if you want to. And that just makes it flow a little smoother. And I'm going back in that spa blue just a tad and just a little bit more of the white, and just working around this edge just a tiny bit. And sometimes I have to just stop myself and say, all right, now enough's enough, because you can do too much. And I have the too much gene in a lot of ways, and it does carry over into my painting quite a bit. So I just have to say, no, we're not doing any more to this sometimes. And as soon as I go around this time, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, all right, that's enough. That is good. We're not doing any more to this. That's bad. Anybody else talk to themselves like I do? My mom always told me, as long as you don't answer yourself, you're probably okay. But the problem is, sometimes I answer myself, so I don't know. I do not know if I'm okay or not. But I have fun. So we're just working around just this edge one more time. Just blending just a little bit better than I had it. Seems like some places that desert turquoise is just trying to peek out a little bit more than it was supposed to, but it is all good. It is all good. And then just blend all of that together. Okay, so now, again, not even rinsing my brush. I may have to get another plate though, because this is really, yeah. I've already done a number on this plate, looks like. But, and here I am, just too much, going back in there with more of that turquoise. Not necessary. Okay, Nicole, stop. We're going to take this dark Hauser green and we're going to start on our tree. And, well, yeah, I'm going to see if I can do it on this plate. I'm going to leave that black there and just do a little squirt of the Hauser green. And I was going to use that same brush, but it looks like I have kind of tapped around till it's a little misshapen. So I'm going to let that soak a minute, and I'm going to take this. This one is exactly like it. It's just a 1-inch flat brush. So I'm going to take that brush, and I'm going to just eyeball the center. Don't make it up too far, because we're going to do a star too. But just take that in roughly the center and just run it all the way down. It doesn't have to be a perfect line or anything like that. Just a line. And if it, if you like the control of a little round brush better, hey, that is perfectly okay too. That's just going to give you a smaller tree trunk or whatever. And if it's a little wavy, that's all right too. We're going to cover up most of it anyway. But once you get that done, we're just going to take this brush again and dip it back in that Hauser green, and we're going to make a V at the top. Just a V. I think this brush may be a little bit, I should have got a newer one to do it, but we're going to make it work. And then just kind of tap in to fill up your V. And then we're just going to come down below it and make another V. Trying not to get that too wide right now, but we're just filling in. Filling in each section is all we're doing right now. Just with these, but then you kind of tap it in and give it some, the V just gives it definition, I guess, and then what you're doing now is just gonna poof it out some. So just let that brush work for you. And if you've got one that has not seen better days, it's probably gonna work better. But we're just going a little bit wider as we go down. This is just a very, very simple little tree. Yeah, just filling in little by little. And I love how that dark Hauser green just really pops on those light blues. That's the reason we wanted the canvas to be a whole bunch lighter in the center, so it just really shows up good. And just kind of tap down to make it go past the section before. And you can touch it up later, but that's the objective, to just make every section as you're going down just a bit wider than the one right above it. And then just fill it in with little taps. I promise y'all, this part is so super easy. Now, mine may not be the prettiest tree that there's ever been. I've watched Bob Ross make the happy little trees, and he does so good with that. But this is supposed to be, I guess, more of a whimsical style. So perfection, definitely not the goal. We're just getting some paint down to make our own version of some happy little trees. So we've got about 4 sections now. Drop down, do another little V with the edge of your brush, and just bring that section out farther than the section above it. And just tap, tap. If you get low on paint, dip again. And then just fill it in. I think that is super fun. It's very, to me, really soothing and relaxing to just tap those trees together. Now, I like a tracer as well as anybody does. Probably better. I usually do like a tracer because it shows me the parameters of what I'm doing. I love to start a painting with a tracer, but there's some paintings, Christmas trees in particular, is what I'm thinking of, that just look better, seriously, without the tracer. Because just that rough, you wouldn't be able to get that little tapped in look using a tracer. So let's say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and do another one. I'm not sure how long we're going to make the trunk, especially since I lost my reference picture. Let me look for that one more time. I'm sorry. I've got a mess up here. And sometimes I just can't find things. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so now that I see my reference, I guess I have gotten my sections a little closer together than this. But you know what? That's all right. That's what I'm talking about when I say make it your own. and that's just what we're doing. So we are going to probably go down 2 more sections and then just leave, excuse me, some of the trunk at the bottom. So just another V with the edge of your brush and then go out farther this time. Farther than the section above it. Just like I said, super easy, super simple. We just tapping and then just fill in that section. Sorry. And then another V below that. Yeah, we're going to end up, I guess, with 7 sections in the trunk. And then we can touch up, fill in whatever we need to do at that point. But for now, just kind of getting the, and you know, kind of leave a V at the bottom too, where the trunk starts. I think that's going to look really good. And then just once you have that basic shape of your tree, you know, again, don't do too much, but you can go in and fill in. And then we're going to come in with a lighter green and then some snow. But I do think I need just another little touch of that dark Hauser green, because I'm just trying to fill it in just a little bit more. I think maybe I made my tree too skinny. Just trying not to get it too spread out. I made it too skinny. But just tap around there once again till it feels good to you, or looks good to you. That's the thing. There's really no rhyme or reason, no right or wrong way to do this. And that's what I love about it. And if there's places where you can kind of see the trunk through there, no worries. We're going to get that all. Our other shades of green and everything are going to cover that even more. So it is all good. You know, we want to get some decent coverage, but you know how a tree is anyway. There's spots you can see straight through the branches normally. So if it is a little sparse, that's truly not a big deal. This reminds me a little bit of when I was a kid. We didn't have an artificial tree back then. We went out in the woods and cut one. And y'all, that is some of the best memories of my life. I used to love going looking for a Christmas tree. See right here, this is not perfectly symmetrical either. And that's all right. I've never seen, I don't think, a tree that was just 100% perfectly symmetrical. But yeah, we used to go look for Christmas trees. Daddy would take us out in the woods, and usually I think he would have scoped it out before he took us out there, and he had already found the tree, but he would let us find it for ourselves. But just some wonderful, fun memories there. And sometimes I wish we could go back to having a real tree and not using an artificial. This seems like life is so much busier than it was back in the 70s and I guess early 80s. I don't know what year we started getting a artificial tree, but probably the early 90s. I remember one Christmas my dad was pretty sick around Christmas, and I think maybe Mama had to go and buy an artificial tree that year, but I think at the time we thought it was pretty neat to have an artificial tree, but now I just think it's kind of sad when you have to give up a tradition like that. And then we grew up, and you know, that took, I guess, some of the fun out of it for him, going to find the tree and everything. So that tradition just kind of fell by the wayside, and it's not one that we had, unfortunately, with our kids, because we just didn't really have a good place to go Christmas tree looking. But anyway, I've left some spots that are not perfectly filled in, but I think that's going to be all right. I am going to go down just a little bit farther with this bottom section, just to not have quite as much of the trunk showing. And you can even do some little swooping motions if you want to kind of feather that out. Just whatever you want to do. But I think I'm going to leave mine just kind of tapped in like that, because I do think that is the really the easiest method. Okay, so now that we've got that part done, I think it is already dry enough that we can actually go in with some of the lighter green. But you know what? Instead, I think I'm going to take this small little brush right here and do a little trunk work just to even that up a little bit. I think I can do better than it looked with the 1-inch brush, actually. And thicken that trunk up a little. And I'm just dipping in the black to do this, just making it a little bit thicker. Yeah, and you can do some highlights on that if you decide to, or whatever. I think I'm gonna leave it about that long, and then just do some black down here at the bottom to kind of create a shadow. So I'm gonna get a little bit of my paint, my green paint, off on my paper. Y'all, I don't know if you can see this work table paper, but I have to have some butcher paper down because I am a very, very messy painter. So I'm just going to put down a little more black, and we're going to dip into that and just kind of make a little bit of a shadow right here at the bottom of our tree to just kind of give it something to stand on, I guess. Just some little bitty, not little bitty, but little swooshes, kinda. And then you can do some more going all the way down if you want to just kind of give it some shadows and a base. And then we're going to come in soon and make some snow and use some glitter, and that just makes it very fun. Okay, so let me grab, I'm going to have to rinse this time because we're going to go, we started with that dark Hauser green, and then we're going to go in with something called sour apple, and I'm hoping this is not going to be too light. I have not tested it yet, But if it's too light, I'll just jump in with some more of the Hauser green and mix it up. So I'm just going to do a quick brush rinse, and then we'll get right to it. And while I rinse my brushes, I just want to go back to the Christmas tree looking as a child. I have got some of the best memories of Christmas as a kid because both of my parents just, and we were not wealthy by any means. I don't know how they scraped and pulled together and put stuff on layaway or whatever, but both my parents grew up poor, and I think they really tried to make Christmas a big deal for us, and it really, really was. They just really went all out, and it was so fun. And, you know, not that getting the material things and all the activities are the main thing about Christmas, because, of course, they also emphasize that it's about Jesus' birthday, but they also made sure that we had some really good and happy memories of those times, and, you know, just some times I'll never forget. So I'm thankful for the parents that I have, and I always said if I could just be just half as good at parenting as what they were, then I'd be all right. So anyway, I digress, but I'm just tapping in some green here. Some of this light green. I don't know if it's showing up that good. It is for me, but I don't know if it's showing up on the camera that good. And then we'll come on top of that with some white too in a few minutes after it's good and dry. But while our green is drying, that's when we're going to do the fun and kind of funky stuff with some more white on the canvas. Those don't look too good. I kind of, instead of tapped, I swiped. And I think with this step, it's better to just tap it in. But you may know a good method to use otherwise, and that's all right. You can, when you paint with me, you can do it however you want to. A lot of times you may have a better idea than what I've got, and I'm all right with that. Just make it yours, whatever that winds up being. So, all right, we got the light. That really does look very light now, but I think once we do our other doings, it's gonna do good. That little piece at the top was bothering me, though. It seemed like it was not sticking out as far as it should have been, so I just wanted to, and I'm not sure if that was my too much gene or if that was a real thing. But anyway, we've got our lighter green kind of tapped in now. The next thing we're going to do is go in with some white. Let me go ahead and rinse this brush right quick, though, just in case we end up needing it. I do need to go quick because I'm afraid my phone might be on the way to dying. I'm not sure, but I know it didn't have all that much charge when I came up here. But the first thing we're going to do is make just a really, really simple little star at the top of our tree. And if you prefer, you can use a Posca paint pen. Y'all know I love these. But I think I want mine to be just a little bit more loosey-goosey looking. So, I'm just going to use this little round brush. And first thing, I'm just going to paint a straight line, or as straight as it gets with me, up from the top. Try not to make that too thick, but just a good size. I kind of like a big old star, but I'm trying not to get crazy with it. And then we're going to do another line just slightly up from the center. Just kind of make a cross there. And then from there, we'll make an X, and that is our star. Just very, very, very simple. There we go. And then these next steps are just kind of optional. I'm just going to make some more little stars and kind of like a little heart and some doolollies on here. Just to whimsy it up a little bit. I like me some whimsical paintings. But you can actually do it, again, just any way you want to. But what I'm going to do right now is take, I think this is about a, just shy of a 1/4 inch brush. And we're going to dip in white and just do like some little, little V's. Just almost like a heart. Just here and there, nothing crazy. Just a little, just something to give it a little bit of, I don't know what the word is I'm going for, but just, yeah, a little bit of whimsy, I guess. And I'm not taking a whole lot of time with these, just kind of doing them here and there. And you usually want to make like an odd number. I don't know that it's absolutely necessary, but just kind of an odd number just seems to flow better sometimes. And then you can go back with the end of your big paintbrush, that 1 inch that we were using, and make some snow. If you want your snow pretty even, dip every time. If you want them to be different sizes, tap every about 3rd or 4th time. And you don't have to take a lot of time with this either. It's just getting it on there how you want it. This is just mainly lightening it up some and just making it, I don't know, giving it that magical night in the woods feel, I guess. With just a few little here and there taps. That one didn't do good. Let me dip again. And some of these are kind of, I guess I got a little bit too much, which is fine, but just if it does have a little tip like that after you tap, just bear in mind that it does take those a little bit longer to dry, so just take care not to get your fingers in there or anything. So just some little tippy taps here and there. No pattern. Sometimes I do kind of try to make it in a triangle just to make sure that I'm not getting them too uniform, because you do want it to be kind of random. And I really am hoping that I can find that toothbrush, because I want to show you something fun, but I don't know if it's, I do know it's up here somewhere. I just do not know where. And it is not a used toothbrush. It is a Brand new clean one. I didn't steal it from my husband or anything like that. But, yeah, just some little tippy taps here and there. And, okay. Oh, I know what else I was going to do. I'm going to make just a few more bigger stars, but not quite as big as this star. So, I'm going to take another one of those little bitty... well, do I not have another one of those little round brushes up here? I thought I did. I guess they're both dirty. Let me do a little bit of rinsing. And while I'm rinsing, my eyes are looking for the toothbrush. Because I know that sucker is around here somewhere. If I could just put my hands on it. Y'all, I have no idea where I stuffed that. But I really wanted to show you. And I'll tell you, even if I don't find it, I'll tell you how I did it. Because it is pretty fun. And I want you to get to try it. But I really don't know what I have done with it. So, there is that. But all it is, goodness. I'm going to look one more place. Well, all it is just taking the toothbrush to, you dip it in white paint and maybe a little water and run your thumb over it, and you can just kind of mist the whole surface. It just looks like a little dusting of snow, and it is super cool. And I am really sad that I cannot find that toothbrush to be able to show you that. But it is not hard to figure out. If you want to do that with yours, then I do recommend it. It just for another little cute little touch to this. But anyway, moving along, since I can't find it, we're just going to do a few more little stars, just like we did that first one. Just a cross, then an X. And they don't have to be perfect, but just a little cross and an X. And one more. And these little V's that you made, you can touch them up a little bit and make them look like a heart if you want to. But what I'm trying to do right now is not get my big hands in these snow dots that we made. Because I am forevermore getting paint on me and sometimes messing up my canvas by doing that. So I actually ended up not doing but 3 of those kind of stars, and then this one. But you do ever how many you want to. I may end up adding some more toward the end, but I'm just going to rinse that little brush out for right now, and we're going to put some snow in the tree and on the ground. And yeah, the problem is, though, at this point, that I have got so much blue in that white, I believe I'm going to have to switch to a new plate. And actually, I'm going to use an old one that I've used before, because we just don't waste a whole lot around here. Now, if you come to one of my parties, you use all the supplies you want, because that's what I buy them for, is for you to use. Somebody at one of my parties recently said, I don't want to waste your paint. Honey, you're not wasting my paint. I bought it for you. So if you come to my parties, you use what you want to. But I just try to be somewhat thrifty with supplies like my plates and all. Anything that I can make work more than once. I do. So take that 1-inch brush again, tap a little bit off on your plate, and then tap you some snow on your tree. Nothing fancy, just tapping. Just to make it look like a little bit of snow. And see how that just makes it, it just takes it to another level, I think, when you do that. It just gives it, that's why I love this one without a tracer, because I just don't think you could do this any other way and make it look this cute. So, now does it really look like the reference? Not necessarily, but that's, again, what I mean by making it your very own. It doesn't have to look like what you started looking at as long as you like it. So, just tap that snow in there. Just kind of going in the same direction and working it, just angling toward the middle, I guess is the best way to say that. But just little taps, as much or as little as what you would like. I love snow. I wish it did it more here in Alabama where I live. And I know most grown-ups around here like, ooh, we don't want it to snow. Oh, I do. I've always loved snow days. But part of that could be because I've always worked at school and snow days meant off days. But it's not just that. It's just that it's so beautiful outside when it snows. It just makes it like a winter wonderland. Now, probably if I lived somewhere where it snowed a lot, I wouldn't feel as kindly towards snow. I don't know if I would want it all the time, but I love it when it once in a blue moon snows here. So, there you go. There's that. Okay, so now for some snow at the bottom, and I wish I had not dipped my... All right, Nicole, you are not thinking. Okay, it's okay. I don't know why I dipped that brush in the water, so I'm just going to take my other 1-inch that I have up here, and we're going to make some snow at the bottom. You don't have to completely cover the black because you want it to have some shadows. But just that same little swooshing motion that you did to get the black. And if you have to cover over a couple of your snowflakes, that's all right too. But again, nothing too much. Just give yourself some little snow drifts down here. And here's where it gets really, really fun. We're going to put some glitter. I've got these craft twinkles, and we're about to put those on there and make it sparkly. And I love sparkly. I will never get too old for sparkly. I'm always going to be a girly girl, and I'm always going to love glitter. Or I can't see me not ever loving glitter. I've also got some stuff. We're not going to use it today, but I've got some stuff that you can, it's like a, what do you call that? A heavy body paint that makes like textured snow. That's fun too. But for right now, let me just give this a quick little dry, and I apologize for the sound. And then we're going to put the glitter on here. And I don't know if you can hear me over the dryer. But you can kind of tell when the paint is dry enough when it's not shiny anymore. As long as it's kind of shiny, it's going to move, or it could move when you put the glitter on top. But once it quits being so shiny, it's probably good enough. But I've got a thick place right there that's kind of trying to bubble. So I tell you what, that place is trying to bubble. So in the meantime, while we wait for that to finish drying, I'm going to go back around this edge and just making some little evenly spaced little stripes around the edge. Just, you don't have to do this part. It's just another little whimsical touch that you can do if you want to do. And each stripe is just about the width of my 1-inch brush. And we're going to put a little dot of that blue in each one of them in a minute. This part can dry while we finish up our snow with the sparklies. Okay, so, and this part, seriously, don't take a lot of time with. This is just a little, it's not supposed to be completely, I mean, try to keep your stripes somewhat the same distance apart, but like, we're not trying to do nothing perfectly, spaced or anything. Just having a little fun here. Because that's what it's all about. Just having a little fun and making something that you're going to enjoy and that you're proud of. So that was white on that corner. I'm going to make it black on this one. And then come in. Am I still in the frame? I hope so. Just with these evenly spaced little, or semi-evenly spaced little stripes. Did I get that on the, I was afraid I had knocked it down on my work surface and smeared them, but they look all right. Yep. This just kind of makes it fun. And then we're ending up with white on this corner too. So starting down the next side, we'll leave a black space right there and go white after that. And just space them out just like we've been doing. And it's nearly glitter top. And I'm going to take my little craft twinkles. This is called Crystal. These are the Deco Art craft twinkles. And I'm just going to put a little bit down on my plate. These are awesome. They are so much fun. And just paint over my snow with my twinkles. And it just gives it such a, oh, I dipped in the white. I did not mean to do that. Just gives it such a little pop. And sometimes you can let them dry a little bit and then do some more. And it's so fun. Love me some glitter. So put a little on your tree if you want to. That just makes it a little glittery, a little shimmery. And you don't have to really tap like this. You can do it any way you want to. Just don't run over it a bunch of times, because sometimes you can kind of, if you spread them out too much, they're not going to be as glittery. So you want a pretty good little gob of paint wherever you're going with that. And it looks kind of just like milky clear with the little glitter specks in there. But then once it starts to dry, you can really see them just start to shimmer. And I love the little shimmer there. And, you know, like I said, let it dry. If you want more shimmer, put you some more shimmer. Can you see how that's sparkling? I love that. And what I'll do with my paint and with these little craft twinkles, like I said, we don't waste a whole lot. I'll just get my brush and put it back in the bottle if I didn't use it all. And it is perfectly good for next time. So, final step, or it is for this one because I don't have my toothbrush, but we're just going to go into these little white places here that we left, and I'm going to grab up my other plate that we used first, and we're just going to make some little decorative doolollies with these colors of blue here. Just little V's that look like hearts. And I am actually using a little bit of the desert turquoise and a little bit of that, y'all, I've already forgot what shade of blue that's called. Oh, spa blue. Spa blue. So, just kind of getting these in here. And again, this step is 100% optional. It's just to add a little bit to that little whimsical feeling of this painting. And I know I hate to keep going back to the paintbrush when we don't have it, but I am sick about it that I didn't bring it up here. You would have liked that, I think. I like it. Even though I will say sometimes using that toothbrush to splatter paint, it does get a little bit messy. I have even got paint in my hair doing that before. But, you know, it's what it is. It was cute. Not the paint in my hair, but how the painting turned out. I dipped in white that time. I did not mean to do that. Can you see the paint all over my fingers? And last night I had stain on me. We were making a little chair for my great nephew's birthday. He'll be 2 Saturday. And we made him a little storage chair with a where you can put, actually my husband built it, but I stained it. But it's a little storage seat where you can put books and small toys down in the seat. And so I was staining that last night. And can you tell me, because I can't figure it out, how I got stain on my legs with long pants on? I do not know. But I looked later and I had stain on my legs. So anyway, I can make a mess real quick. I can make a mess of most anything. But I'm trying to hurry because my phone really is dying. I think I may have lost y'all a little bit ago when it said battery low, but maybe not. But once again, these are just little V's, and I'm just dipping in 2 different shades of blue to make them, and trying not to dip my fingers in my in my white in the process, because that white is still not dry. I should have dried it, but I did not. And we're just going with it. So just little heart-looking things all the way around. You don't even have to dip every time. All right. So, and now the trouble is going to be picking it up. But we're going to try. From this corner that shouldn't have a... And there she is. And I will post a picture of it once I get the toothbrush sprinkles in. And you can kind of see how that looks. But I'm going to put this on YouTube. So I hope you get to check it out. And feel free to paint along with me. I would love that. That's the best thing to me about painting is getting to share it with other people. So anyway, I hope you get a chance to do that, and thank you so much for watching. If you want to book a paint party with me, just shoot me a message on Facebook, or if you know me personally and have my phone number, send me a text, and we'll get together to paint. If not, hope we can paint together online like this. And once again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.